Today we're going to be talking about Dark Souls 2. Now, I've been trying to make this video for a while now, and it just hasn't been working out. But regardless, we're going to do a very quick dive, because as I've kind of gone through iterations, it just kind of seems to boil down to the exact same thing. So, with that being said, what I like to do for these quick note videos is just kind of give some context. I played the Scholar of the First Sin edition, and it was on PS4, and I haven't played Dark Souls 2 before, and I also had two playthroughs going, just kind of allowing me to experiment with some different things. I was a caster, I did a hex build, but my main account was actually the like a melee strength build. With that being said, all I can really say about Dark Souls 2 is that it was a lot of fun, and it was a improvement on the first Dark Souls. With that being said, I really didn't have any major complaints with the game. I mean, it was just the next iteration of Dark Souls, and it was improved in terms of mechanics, just kind of in general gameplay. One thing that I may have noticed, but I don't know if it's just because I allowed myself to experiment more, was there seemed to be a bit more of a weapon variety, and like I said, I might just be making that up just because I had those two accounts going. But regardless, really no complaints, and it was really just a fun time that I was able to allow myself to experiment, and maybe this also comes from me just having more confidence in my skills for the game itself. Because up until this point, I had only played Dark Souls and Bloodborne. When I was playing Dark Souls 2, I was also playing Demon Souls alongside that with my wife, and after I finished Demon Souls, shortly after I actually beat Dark Souls 2. So at this point, I would like to think that my skills for Dark Souls have improved drastically, and that allowed me to just kind of have the confidence to be able to get through the game a lot quicker, or with a lot more ease, I suppose. One other thing that I may have noticed that is, I guess, noteworthy, I would say, is that enemy encounters seem to have become more complex, and don't quote me on that specifically, just because I am not the Dark Souls guru, so to speak. I might not know what I'm talking about in the slightest, but even boss encounters, they just seemed a bit more complex, like a little bit more of an element that you would have to like pay attention to, whether it was, oh, if you go too far on like the bounds of the arena, you're gonna like fall off the ledge or something like that. And even just like enemy encounters, it seems like there was a lot more enemies that you had to deal with, like, oh, a guy up top with arrows or something, while you had to deal with guys below. It just kind of seemed more complex than Dark Souls 1, and maybe not Bloodborne so much, but regardless, that's just something that I kind of like took note of. I don't know if it's really true or not. I would love to know what you guys think, one way or the other. And as I mentioned before, probably ever so briefly, it just kind of seems quicker, just kind of a more improved version of Dark Souls 1. Like the rolling, how you move, how the enemies move, everything seems a little bit quicker, and I've actually been playing Dark Souls 3 since I have initially completed Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3 even seems a little quicker than that, so it seems that just as they kept going, the movement got a little quicker and quicker. But with that being said, that's really all I have to say. It was just a lot of fun. It was a fun iteration. If you are going to do a, I guess, run of all the Dark Souls or FromSoft games, this is definitely a good one. If you're going to do a full run, I would obviously suggest either doing them in order, or, you know, just going Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, or maybe if you want to start with Demon Souls. I mean, honestly, whatever you want to do. But this one was a fun one, and so far all of them have actually been a lot of fun. I can't quite rank all of them, just because I don't think it would be fair to rank them, since I haven't played Dark Souls 3 yet, or Sekiro. That was the last one. Anywho, if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to hit me up down below. I would like to know what your favorite FromSoft game is, because I'm terrible at, like, ranking stuff. But, yeah, hit me up down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And if you like this video, it would really help me out, really help the channel out. And if you like this video enough that you would consider subscribing, please do. And if you do, remember to ring that little bell so you know when I actually post videos or shorts or when I stream or anything like that. But with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.